Welcome home. It's Irish Family History with curious news and notes, celebrating our 4th year of this podcast at the Irish Roots Cafe, where every day's a holiday and there's always room for one more. One of 6 broadcast series from the head school at irishroots.com. I'm Mike OLaughlin, your host, publisher of rare Irish books and information on every county in Ireland since 1978. Be sure to read our blog, complete with links to click on from this podcast, and search our master index and books for free. Molly, wet the tea, Katie, bar the door, Sweeney, clear that floor, and bring out the Irish dancers. It's time we get this show on the road. And it is show number 187 of the Irish Family History Podcast. And among today's topics at the Irish Roots Cafe, and by the way, this is our 6th year of this podcast. The family name of the day is Joyce. The Irish county of the month is Belfast and County Antrim. Searching for Bridgeman, Hehir, Malone, and O'Leary. Curious notes, Belfast Librarian aids one of our callers. Number 5, CD background on the history of Ireland. Number 6, curious note, exams are being added to the Irish Masters program. As a matter of fact, I'm working on that right now. And number 7, Michelle finds roots in Northern Ireland through passport research. I wonder which Michelle we're talking about there. Would that be Michelle Obama or Michelle Colby? You have to stay tuned for the answer to that. Be sure to listen to all our podcasts, folks. We've got free podcasts, several hundred of those, and we've got some archived podcasts. And we have some members-only podcasts, so there's something for everybody, and lots of things always in the works. It's just a matter of making it happen. Hey, now let's take a look at the notes this week. What's happening at the Irish Roots Cafe? Well, we've added exams to our Irish Head School Masters program. I'm writing them out right now. It looks like we're going to have 25 questions that come in a little form with each CD, and it's going to be included with each package. And we've got 4 fields of study already done and available, but not the test yet. But if you order them, I'll send it to you afterwards. There's 2 more to go. Now, the ones we have done are the history of Ireland, Irish America, Irish language, and Irish videos. They're done. And we're just now finishing up on Irish song and Irish genealogy to go out in the next week or 2 and get back with us hopefully by the middle of the month. And we're writing out those questions as we speak, so it's going to be a good one, folks. Number 2, I helped out at the Irish Museum this weekend with Promise. She's a really sharp girl, young girl that's got a good ear for Irish history and Irish language, and quite a crowd gathered at the Union Station to see the Diana exhibit, and many dropped by the Irish Center afterwards or as they were standing in line. I'm glad to see that just a few folks remembered the Irish as well as the British monarchy, and there's been some conflict there in the past. It's amazing how soon people forget what the past was, and that can be a good thing too. Hey, there's one more thing I gotta say. There's an immersion workshop coming up on Irish language, and there'll even be some singing in the Irish language too. That's coming up in early June, I think Renata said. I think they might lock the doors and hold you in there for a day and only let you speak Irish. Or maybe they'll hold you in there for a whole weekend and you won't be able to get fed unless you can ask for food in Irish. I wonder if they'll take sign language. Well, I tell you, I'm going to be enjoying it. I'm going to go because I'm tired of all those books. I'd like to see something happen in the real world. So I'm going to be hiding in the corner until I figure out what to say. But put that on your calendars. I think it's the first weekend around there in June, but I'll have more on that next week, and we'll see what's happened. But Renata's in charge of it down at the Irish Center, Irish Museum, so keep it in mind. And now today, instead of the regular 1-minute podcast, we're going to have an interview with Michelle. and that's in place of the 1 Minute Podcast. And Michelle's going to report on her success in a passport application and how that led to success in a family search in Ireland. Ooh, boy, that's pretty fun. Let's listen in. You know, Michelle sent me an email a couple weeks ago. Actually, this was just before St. Patrick's Day when our parts of our webpage went down, so I haven't had time to get it back up there, but I had a really good time talking with her on the phone, and we got this going, so I think you're going to enjoy it. And oh, by the way, the book of the month this month is going to be County Antrim and Belfast, Ireland, because of her family research. I'll have notes on that on the blog. I don't know if we'll have time to include anything on it right here on the podcast, but now here comes our interview with Michelle on the telephone of the day. Oh, we've got a good guest today. It's Michelle, and I think that's pronounced, is that Colby?
Yes, it is.
Oh, good. I've got it right. So, Michelle, I got an email the other day, and she's a podcast listener to several nice genealogy podcasts out there on the internet, and she really gave us sort of a compliment and said, hey, thanks for your podcast and Drew's podcast, and she went on to explain she had just had some success in her genealogical research, so I got right back to her and said, well, why don't you share that with all of our avid genealogists out there? So, Michelle, could you tell us in a nutshell just exactly what got you to send that email?
I sure can, Mike. And what happened was I had a few weeks ago listened to your podcast about becoming an Irish citizen and knew that could apply to my husband, so we undertook that endeavor. And then, as part of that, I happened to look at some censuses from Ireland in the early 20th century, and saw the street where his family lived and wanted to see that street and couldn't find it. So I wrote to a library in Belfast. They told me what had happened to the street. It had been redeveloped. And the librarian was kind enough on her own to give me additional information, and she wrote back in the email and said, I think you may have distant relatives still living in Belfast, and here's their address.
Oh my God! And you got this tip right from the library in which library was it?
Belfast Central Library.
And they were just so nice to you. They went ahead and did some extra research.
Oh my gosh! Yes, she looked at electoral rolls of some sort. I'm not sure what type of records those are, but
sure.
Found 3 family members living in one place, and I wrote to them and said, you don't know us, but I think we might be related. And sure enough, I got an email back, and they were the ones. And it's just been so much fun to get a hold of them.
Well, now, what was the surname that you were looking at?
Malone.
Okay. Ooh, Malone.
Malone. Uh-huh.
Okay, good. So you made contact with them. Do you think you're going to meet up later, go on, make a trip over?
You bet. That's exactly what we want to do. We want to, my husband and I, and his mother is still alive. She's 85 years old. And we said, Teresa, these are your first cousins that you've never even known about and never even met in your whole life. Let's go. And so we are in the planning stages of getting over there.
Now, how did you do on the, have you filled out any paperwork yet on the passport? I mean, or the birth certificates and that sort of thing?
Mm-hmm, you bet. We had to get the birth certificate from Ireland, which was €10, which is, I think, about $13.65 for the grandfather.
And how did you get it?
There's a couple ways you can fill out a form online or mail something, and so I just mailed it off, and they got it, and I had it back within like 2 to 3 weeks. It was that quick.
Good.
And then a few more pieces I needed on the state side, which took a lot longer.
Yes.
And then we just mailed it off 2 weeks ago to San Francisco. We live in Arizona, so San Francisco is the place to mail it to.
Ooh, good.
So now we wait. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And it's hard telling how long you wait, but I bet you they're trying to hurry up tourism over there, so that helps some of the administrations get busy on processing the paperwork too.
Exactly.
So let's hope that's the case for your research.
I hope so. And it's fun, too, with the woman I've been in the family contact back there. She is on Facebook, and I'm on Facebook, so we became Facebook friends.
Ooh, that's perfect.
It is perfect. It's just wonderful to know. Yeah, instantly, that moment when I got that email, the whole world became smaller, knowing that there really aren't any strangers anywhere. They're just family members we haven't met yet.
Yeah, especially Ireland. Hey, had you tried making any raw contacts from scratch on Facebook before this?
No, I hadn't. Not at all.
You know, a lot of people have, and they've been successful too.
I think I'm going to, and I hadn't even been totally interested in the Irish part until I heard your citizenship podcast. And I've been fast and furious ever since I listened to that podcast.
Oh, good. It's always good to know that somebody's out there listening.
Yeah, it was fun. And, and I just wished I could become one. But no, for me, it's the great-grandparent. But
yeah, if you had tried 30 years ago, you might have been able to make it.
I know it. Boy, I tell you. It's just difficult to get things done all at once, but I think, when the time is right, the things happen and fall into place. The Irish people have sent a lot of photographs of their relatives, and it's amazing to see how you look at. And my husband said, "Oh, there's where my wavy hair comes from. They've all got it over there."
That's perfect. I do the same thing. I go, "Look, that looks just like Uncle Jimmy there, that guy right there," and you can see it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And one of the brothers of the grandfather drove a train, and there's between Dublin and Belfast every day. And so there's a picture of him on his train, and it's just, I can't even tell you how exciting it is. It's the best, and it's because of you getting that interest stirred. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that.
Oh, good. You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. That keeps me going when I find out somebody got some good off of it, because sometimes you think you could just be here talking to yourself.
Well, you're not. I don't know how many out there, but I'm out here.
Good. Well, what do you have any other Irish lines that you're thinking about researching, or that you've done anything with?
I do. My great-grandmother was born down in Cork, down in a town called Clonakilty, is what we've heard. And,
right.
Right. And so I need to do some research on her. And I'll tell you, I just really feel green lately, and especially with St. Paddy's Day nearby.
Oh, that's right. And what was the surname down there in Cork?
Oh, a good one. It was O'Leary.
Oh, boy, there might be a few of them down there, you think?
I think so.
Well, there's several different heritage centers down there, sort of divided by region in County Cork, so you're liable to get some help down there, too. But, hey, the librarian you got up in Belfast is that's an awful good story, because sometimes if you're pushy and you start asking somebody to do something, they'll say, "Well, who is this? I'm not doing anything for them." But if you're a nice person, sometimes people reach out and they do the extra for you without even asking.
I know it, and I got her information and sent off a nice letter and mailed it to her supervisor. So it's great this day and age to find someone who goes over and above just for the pure research interest or love of genealogy, whatever it is. And so it makes me want to, of course, do that for other people.
Hey, it's just another reason we call ourselves family,
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Well, have you had any other interesting genealogy experiences?
It was just one not Irish, but I found an old building still standing in Ottawa that's a national historic landmark on another line, and there was a poster hanging with incorrect information, and I actually had to kind of contact their governmental agency to get it removed, and actually went there, and it is fun to travel in your ancestors' footsteps, find out where they lived and what they were looking at. It really makes a big difference.
Oh, it gives some depth to who you are when you stop to think about it. This is where I come from, and this is what we went through, and this is how I got here today. It really changes your life if you look at it.
It really does, doesn't it? It's just amazing, knowing what they've gone through to get you where you are today. And you need to be thankful to everybody who's done that for you.
Boy, I know I am, and I had so much help on my first experiences 30 years ago, and the sun was shining on me. I'm telling you, I had just accidental meetings with people, and it's an amazing thing, like it's meant to be, and it sounds like yours was meant to be too.
I think so too, exactly, and it's one of the best parts is it's kind of got my husband interested in genealogy, which. Up till this point, he's pretty much just rolled his eyes when I'd start talking about it.
And now he's going to be those converts end up being the worst of them. Then he'll be talking genealogy all the time and telling you things you already knew.
I know, exactly. But at least he's talking it, so that helps.
Hey, that's right. That's right. Well, thanks a lot, Michelle. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off here at the cafe?
No, just it might be after St. Patty's Day, but I hope everybody had a great St. Patty's Day, and if not, I hope you have a great St. Patty's Day.
Oh, and the same to you. You know what they say, and they say it's an Irish-American saying when it was, top of the morning to you, and you're supposed to answer the rest of the day to yourself.
Oh, that's great.
But, I talked to some of the folks over in Ireland. They go, what? Never heard of such a thing. So I think it was my ancestors that invented it right here in the States, and that's okay with me.
It probably was. And in fact, the woman I've been talking to in Ireland said, do they celebrate St. Patty's Day as much as we do here? And I said, oh, they sure do. You bet. We never forget it over here. Oh, I want to actually listen to her voice. I can't wait to hear that Irish accent because I love that Irish accent.
Oh, I know it. And I'm starting to really study the languages too and why they change and the first alphabets and the different accents in all the different parts of the country. You'd think they'd all be the same, but of course they're not. It's just like any other country. Different sections have different accents, and boy, you can pick your favorite, that's for sure.
You bet, yeah. So it's just been a really great journey so far, and it's really only been about 3 weeks that we got in touch with those people. So, and it's fun because the older people, because they're not so much connected on the internet, but these 80-year-old people are always asking her, what do you hear from over on the other side? And my mother-in-law, any news from Ireland? And it's great.
It is.
And in fact, she said, the woman over there, Jackie, she said, we always knew that you guys were over in America, but we just never knew how to get a hold of you. So,
that's neat.
Yeah, it's very fun.
That's really neat. Well, we're going to celebrate that connection this St. Patrick's Day. We've got to celebrate somebody each year, and you're going to be the one this year. We're gonna lift a glass of something, and we're going to toast your family and the finding of them.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, thanks a lot, Michelle. Oh boy, well maybe we'll do Michelle Obama next. And at first I heard her Irish roots were confirmed perfectly, and then I heard, well, maybe there was a little estimation going on there or exaggeration by a reporter. I don't know what the real story is, but I'll have to look that up, and maybe we'll talk about it next week. Okay, since we're a little off our regular beat this week, we're going to go right to the Magnificent Seven, raising our eyes skywards, giving thanks, and asking for help. Number 1, Agnes Given Kurtz of Arlington, Virginia. Your Cork Irish families and surnames of Ireland have shipped. Number 2, many thanks to Gould Genealogy down under in Australia. Another shipment to our book dealer there in Australia, so be sure to check them out if that's your territory. Oh, Thomas Hogan, Song and Recitation Festival participant just here lately. I hope you're enjoying your CD, and thanks for picking that up. Number 4, Paula Hagan, welcome as a member from Lancashire, England, searching for Bridgeman and Hehir in County Clare. Number 5, Philip Smith of Memphis, Tennessee, welcome as a gold member. Your gold member free choice, the birth index is on its way, and they're trying to locate the family of David Hayes, born September 1808 in Ireland. He changed his name in America from O'Hayes to Hayes, is what they tell me, and the father's name might have been John. Hey, get a hold of us if you think you're connected to that family. We'll put you in touch. Number 6, Craig Walsh of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Your Donegal books have shipped. And number 7, Patricia Ensing, your Kings and Queens County Irish genealogy books have shipped. And, hey, remember to check out our free online search list at irishroots.com. You just go in there and you type in your surname in the box without the O or Mac before it, and all the books that contain your family name will come up. And, hey, if they're all in one county or around one county, that might be a clue in itself. Plus, you might want to check those books out. But that reminds me, thank you to each and every member and each and every person who gets a book. It helps us. Without you, we wouldn't have the podcast. And I tell you, we need you because you're our only form of support. So it's all approved. Hey, Irish family name of the day, we picked Joyce. I think we've done one once before, but we'll try to give you a few tips here today, too. That's in honor of members Alice Shook and Kathleen Fulcher and Carrie Endon and more even. But those are the most recent ones searching for the name. And related spellings of the name include Shoy, S-H-O-Y-E, and Cunnaher, and Joyce, spelled J-O-I-C-E, and DeJoyce, which actually became Joyce, but that was an early spelling of the name. It's part of variant spelling group 967 from the Master Guide to the Spelling of Irish Family Names. Got a link to that one on the blog. We take a quick look at the history of the name. We're going to find that the Joyce or DeJoyce family came from Wales to Galway in at least one instance in the reign of Edward I. They formed alliances with those ferocious O'Flahertys, the chiefs of Connaught, and they received large grants of land in Connemara in the barony of Ross and near the borders of Mayo. And, hey, they're also very numerous to the present day in many of those areas, and they were remarkably noted for their immense body strength and gigantic stature from this family. Do you match up? Hey, they're also noted as one of the famous tribes of Galway, and they're described as such in the Families of County Ireland, in the Families of County Galway book that I did several years back. And there's other centers for the name too, not just there in the west in Galway, Roscommon, Mayo maybe. Take a look at the Book of Irish Families, Great and Small, and you'll see a little bit more. Hey, we looked also in the Irish Book of Arms, and you can bet that the Joyce family, going all that way back, does have their arms in there, in color even. And you're going to see an eagle with two heads, and I think that's a wolf on the crest of this family. So they're in there. They've been recorded for a while, so happy hunting. And, hey, let me see. We're running short on time, but we've got the History of Ireland is the CD of the day, and that's the 4th CD completed to date from our series. And I just finished it up last week, got it back from production, and so it's ready to go. And we began that podcast in the last year or so and had some good reference books on hand, like The Annals of Ireland by the Four Masters, Keating's History of Ireland, and The Conquest of Ireland. And that's just naming a few of the books that we produced over the last 30 years, so I was real familiar with them, and that helped put the show together. And Peter Riley Adams was the co-host with me for the first season of the Hedgerow History Show of Ireland, and hey, his color commentary and decades of teaching experience really added to the show. We picked the top sessions to feature on this CD, so now you can enjoy it in the car or in the backyard, and you can share some of that history with the kids too now. Makes it real easy. It's available now on the webpage. I got a link on the blog, and that's going to do it for today. Hey, everybody, I thank you for sticking with me, and we'll be back next week. We're just now catching up with all the things we fell behind on around St. Patrick's Day, so thank you very much. That's all for today, folks. Joseph, warm up those pipes. Remember, we have a broadcast series on Irish song and recitation, on local history of the Irish in America, and on 2,000 years of Irish history, as well as on the counties, and something special coming up on Irish language, I hope. We've got all that and more at our head school at irishroots.com. And you know, we've been known to appear, exhibit, teach, and even sing for your special events. Be sure to book in advance if it's important, and write me at my American address at Irish Roots Cafe, Box 7575, Kansas City, Missouri, 64116. Leave a message by phone at 816-256-3360. Reach me on my webpage at irishroots.com. Skype me at the Irish Roots Cafe. Get me on MySpace, Facebook, Twitter, and Irish Central. Members foot the bill so they get first priority, but we're open to all. And by the way, a big thank you to all of our members. And away.